The Sudd, a vast swamp in South Sudan. It is a place of mystery and beauty. The Sudd is one of the largest wetlands in the world. It is formed by the White Nile River. The river spills its waters over a flat plain. This creates a labyrinth of channels, lagoons, and islands. The Sudd is a place of extremes. In the wet season, it can stretch for hundreds of miles. It becomes a shallow inland sea. In the dry season, it shrinks but remains a formidable obstacle. The Sudd is a vital ecosystem. It is home to a rich variety of plants and animals. The Sudd is a place of stark beauty. The papyrus reeds stand tall and green. Water lilies dot the surface with their white and blue flowers. The air is alive with the sounds of birdsong. The Sudd is also a place of danger. Mosquitoes swarm in the humid air. Crocodiles lurk beneath the water's surface. The Sudd is a challenge to navigate. The channels shift and change. The papyrus reeds can form impenetrable barriers. But for centuries the Sudd has been home to the Nilotic people. They have learned to live in harmony with this unique and challenging environment. The Nilotes, pastoralists and agriculturalists, they are named for the river that shapes their lives, the Nile. They are spread across East Africa, from southern Sudan to northern Tanzania. Their origins shrouded in time, their languages are interconnected, a testament to a shared ancestry. The Nilotes of the Sudd are known as the Nuer. They are the largest group in the region. They are joined by the Dinka, Shilluk and others, each with their own distinct culture and traditions. They share a deep connection to the Nile. It is their lifeblood. The Nilotes are pastoralists at heart. They measure wealth in cattle. Cattle are central to their lives. They provide milk, meat and hides. They are also a symbol of prestige. Cattle are used in marriage ceremonies and other important rituals, but the Sudd also demands adaptability. The Nilotes have learned to cultivate crops. Sorghum, maize, and beans supplement their diet. The Nilotes are a resilient people. They have faced challenges throughout their history, droughts, floods, and intertribal conflicts. Yet, they have endured. They have maintained their unique way of life. In the face of modernity, they face new pressures. The Sudd itself is threatened by development projects and climate change. The future of the Nilotes and their way of life hangs in the balance. Dawn breaks over the Sudd. The sky turns from deep purple to fiery orange. A new day begins in the swamp. For the Nilotes, life revolves around the water. It dictates their rhythm, their daily tasks, their very existence. The men set out with their cattle. Herds move through the shallows, seeking fresh grazing. They navigate the maze of channels with ease, their knowledge passed down through generations. The women tend to the crops, small plots on the higher ground. They pound sorghum and maize, transforming it into flour for the family meals. Children play by the water's edge. Their laughter echoes through the papyrus reeds. They learn to swim almost before they can walk. The water is their playground, their source of life, their connection to their ancestors. As the day wears on, the sun beats down. The air becomes thick with humidity. The Nilotes seek shade under the papyrus. They share stories. They mend fishing nets. They prepare for the evening meal. As the sun begins to set, the cattle return. The sky explodes in a riot of colors. The air cools slightly. Families gather around small fires. They eat simple meals. They share news of the day. And so another day ends in the Sudd. The cycle of life continues. The Sudd presents unique challenges. The Nilotes have adapted their lives to its rhythms, building homes suited to the swampy environment. Their homes are built on the higher ground, small islands dotting the vast swamp. The traditional houses are round, constructed using local materials. Wooden poles form the framework. Walls are woven from papyrus reeds. Roofs are thatched, providing insulation from the sun and rain. The houses are raised on stilts. This protects them from flooding during the wet season. Life in the Sudd revolves around water. Canoes are essential for transport. They are carved from the trunks of large trees. They navigate the narrow channels with ease. Canoes are used for fishing, for visiting neighboring communities, for transporting goods. The Nilotes are skilled fishermen. They use a variety of techniques, nets, traps, and spears. The fish provide an important source of protein. They supplement their diet of milk, meat, and grains. Life in the Sudd is not easy, but the Nilotes have learned to live in harmony with their environment. Their ingenuity and resilience are a testament to the human spirit. The Sudd dictates the rhythm of life. For the Nilotes, time is measured by the seasons, by the ebb and flow of the water. The wet season brings challenges but also opportunities. When the rains come, the Sudd expands, and the water levels rise. the dry season gives way to a time of abundance. The floodplains teem with fish, and the grazing lands are rejuvenated. The Nilotes move their cattle to higher ground and take advantage of the fishing opportunities. The dry season, however, brings its own set of challenges. The water recedes, the channels become shallow, and the grazing lands shrink. The Nilotes must conserve resources, relying on their stored grain and trading with neighboring communities. The rhythm of the Sudd is a delicate balance, a cycle of abundance and scarcity. The Nilotes have learned to adapt to these rhythms. Their lives are intertwined with the natural world, and their survival depends on their understanding of its delicate balance. Section 6. Ancient Beliefs and Rituals. The Nilotes of the Sudd have a rich spiritual life. Their beliefs are deeply rooted in their environment. They believe in a supreme being, who is the creator of all things. They also believe in spirits that inhabit the natural world. Cattle play a central role in Nilotic rituals. They are sacrificed to appease the spirits and are offered as gifts to ensure good fortune. Cattle are also a symbol of status and wealth. They are exchanged during marriage ceremonies. The Nilotes have a strong oral tradition. Stories and myths are passed down through generations. These stories teach moral lessons, explain the origins of the world, and reinforce the importance of respecting the natural world. Rituals and ceremonies mark important events in the Nilotic calendar, such as birth, initiation, marriage, and death. These events are celebrated with singing, dancing, and storytelling. The Nilotes' spiritual beliefs provide a framework for their lives. They connect them to their ancestors, offer comfort in times of hardship, and remind them of their place in the natural order. Section 7. The Sudd under pressure. The Sudd, a delicate ecosystem, now faces unprecedented challenges. External pressures threaten its delicate balance, putting the Nilotes' way of life at risk. Climate change is bringing unpredictable weather patterns. Droughts are becoming more frequent and severe, causing the Sudd to shrink. This intensifies competition for resources and leads to conflict between communities. Development projects also pose a threat. Large-scale agriculture schemes divert water from the Nile, reducing the flow of water into the Sudd. Oil exploration and extraction contaminate the environment and disrupt traditional grazing routes. Population growth puts additional pressure on the Sudd's resources. The demand for food, water, and land increases, leading to overgrazing, deforestation, and overfishing. The Sudd is at a crossroads, and its future hangs in the balance. The decisions made today will have far-reaching consequences for the Nilotes and for the ecosystem they depend on. Section 8. Resilience and Adaptation. Despite the challenges, the Nilotes are resilient. They have a long history of adapting to change and are finding new ways to cope with the pressures facing the Sudd. Some communities are diversifying their livelihoods. They are engaging in small-scale trading, cultivating drought-resistant crops, and seeking alternative sources of income. The Nilotes are also working to preserve their culture. They are reviving traditional practices and passing on their knowledge to younger generations. They are advocating for their rights and their way of life. The Nilotes are determined to survive. They are drawing on their deep connection to the Sudd, harnessing their ingenuity and resilience, and striving to find a balance between tradition and modernity. Section 9. A Future Uncertain. The future of the Sudd and its people is uncertain, but there is hope. By raising awareness of the challenges facing the Sudd and by supporting the Nilotes' efforts to adapt and preserve their way of life, the international community can play a role in ensuring a sustainable future for the Sudd. This unique ecosystem deserves protection, not just for the Nilotes, but for the world. The Nilotes' way of life is a reminder of the delicate balance between humanity and nature. Their story is a call to action, to protect our planet's fragile ecosystems, to value the diversity of human cultures, and to ensure that future generations can continue to learn from the wisdom of the past.